Hi everybody, this is Yeli and today is day 78 on a semaglutide. It's day 14 on Ozempic and not on a semaglutide, on a GLP-1. It's actually day 14 on a Ozempic. So and it's also day of the shot, and I'm gonna show you guys how I prepare the shot. So let me just update you and then get into the shot. So first of all, I'm sick. we caught a cold, and we've tested, and for COVID it's negative, so that's good. Although I don't know if at this point it really means anything, because 2 years ago, was it, or last year? I don't remember when it was. It was 2 years ago, right? I caught it and I tested negative over and over and over. Like, I kept on testing negative until, I don't know, until it had been almost like 10 days with symptoms, and that's when I tested positive. So anyway, even PCR, so it was not just the at-home test. Anyway, that aside, let's get back to what brings me here, which is Ozempic. So today is day 14, like I said, which means is day of my third injection, and I am on the loading dose. Also, the fact that the midlife is 7 days means that it takes 4.5 weeks for you to fully feel the effect of the medicine in your body. I don't know how that is calculated, but I asked the physician, and that's what they told me. So which means I'm still not quite there, right? And if anything, what I don't have anymore most likely is any of the Mounjaro effects. So with Ozempic, what I'm seeing is that the curve for my glucose is very different. And funny enough, even though my sugar is higher, and my average sugar is for sure higher, I dropped another pound. So I'm 13 pounds down, which is nice. And baffling too, right? Because I'm here thinking my sugar is rising and I'm losing weight. That's just kind of funny. I do want to say that my appetite suppression, I don't want to call it that. So I don't have the food chatter that I did have with Mounjaro. But here's the thing, like, there was a point in my life where I had that food chatter, but I worked a lot to not have it, right? And it was a lot of spiritual, physical, emotional work. And I was living mostly without it. It would come back every now and then, but it wasn't like a constant thing, as it started happening to me while I was on Mounjaro. And I know it quiets it for some people, but it was like an up and down for me. It wasn't like a steady quiet. And maybe it was because I was barely on the 5 milligram shot. Maybe I needed to titrate up more. I don't know. I've heard from people that it still keeps on coming back. So I don't have the magic solution. If anything, what I decided was that food chatter is not gonna decide when I titrate. Blood sugar is what's gonna make that decision, right? So anyway, and I'm sorry, I'm very congested. So anyway, with Ozempic, I just feel like more normal, right? You know, when I'm busy, I don't think about food. I'm just like zoned in what I'm doing. And that's kind of how I feel with Ozempic. I feel like I'm zoned in, and when it's time to eat, I eat. Sometimes I get hungry. Sometimes I even feel the full hunger. But never have I ever had the crazy food chatter I'm sorry, that's a lie. I had a huge craving today, but it was not the craziness that I had with Mounjaro. It's different. But I haven't had that, right? So my mind is like more at peace, and I like that. I like it. So that for me is a plus, right? I do have to be patient with my sugar. I know that after this dose, I still have another dose, and then Thursday next week, I'll see my doctor, and I would have the fourth shot in me already. And that's when we're going to make the decision to titrate. I did see my nutritionist and my diabetes educator. I'm also going to update you on that. They were super happy. They were congratulating me. And for them, it's 6 pounds because I started going with them after I had lost the initial weight. And even for my doctor, I don't think it's a whole 13 pounds because the same day that I weighed myself here, I weighed less when I went to my doctor, or they took a whole bunch of pounds off for clothes and they put my starting weight like lower than what it was. So anyway, whatever. I'm going by my scale here and it's been 13 pounds. So she was so excited. She was like, that's not nothing. That's very good. Some people just have a slower metabolism. And I was telling her, like, in all these almost 3 months, and I think it's been 3 months already, right? No, well, no, because it's day 78, right? So it's 2.5 months. Yeah. A little over 2.5 months. And all this time, I have not, like, gone ahead on a binge or anything of that sort. The most that I've done is eaten a hamburger, and that's happened like 2 times, 3 at the most, but I don't even think it was 3 because there was one time that I'm not counting it, that I barely ate like quarter of the bun. So I wasn't counting that one as a burger dinner. So, and then one time it was pizza, right? So I've been very good with this. But I do have to say that the day of the shot and the day before the shot with Ozempic, I start craving more carbs, but that's also not, it's to be expected because my sugar also goes up higher. So let me explain. With the same lunch that I do, like a lot of the days I repeat this lunch, my sugar went up 65 points today. I couldn't believe it. And in my head, I'm like, I know I'm also, I also have a cold, right? So when you have a cold, your sugar tends to go up too. So that's something that I need to be mindful of. And and I'm sorry, I'm a little bit scattered because I don't feel that great. So my sugar went up 60 something points. And when my sugar goes up so much, I crave carbs. It's like I need them. And it's very hard to resist not eating them. So I did do my apple cider vinegar in water. I put a whole tablespoon of it. I also went ahead and added like some protein in there. And I didn't eat naked carbs, but I did eat something that in Venezuela we call tequeños, and I was craving them like so badly. I saw them in the fridge a few days ago and I hadn't thought of them, but today it was like stuck here. And that's like the only thing, right? And I ate them, and funny enough, my sugar would have been like 300 before. But with all the tricks I did, and of course I still have medicine in me, right? So the medicine is still working, and most likely my sugars in my body are behaving better too. So anyway, my sugar only rose 40 points, which is still a lot, but that's kind of the normal with Ozempic for me. So with a healthy meal, which is a salad and just 1/3 cup of yogurt, in the end with some fruit, like it's 40 points up. Yeah. And with Mounjaro, it was just like 20 points up. But again, I know that when I titrate up, I'm going to expect similar results with Ozempic. When is that going to happen? When it's going to level even out? I don't know. But I know I'll get there. So anyway, I feel more tired. I crave carbs when the peak goes like so high, and I'm in that space for an elevated period of time because it takes like 2 hours for my sugar to go back down. And not even fully back down. For the fully back down, it's like 3 hours, which is crazy. But again, I have a delayed gastric emptying, so my whole digestive process takes longer, and I'm on the loading dose of Ozempic. So Ozempic isn't doing quite as much as it could be doing if I was on a higher dose, right? So anyway, but I wanted to kind of just update you guys on that. So I was telling my nutritionist, back to what I was going, because I go on a rambling because like I have to focus. So anyway, back to my nutritionist. She was super excited, and she just said some people just have a slower metabolism, because I've been tracking in this app that's called Fat Secret. I really like it. I think I tried a few apps, and that one was the one that felt easier for me to use. And I've been tracking, and I shared with her, and I said, listen, this is what I'm eating. And she was like, yeah, I mean, that's fine. And I even told her I'm even staying in half of the carbs. Not today though. Today I made a mess of carbs, but so anyway, I told her, right, how I've been staying, what I've been striving for, what I've been doing. And she's like, yeah, well, you know, keep doing what you're doing, but hey, you've lost, right? So it's not a bad thing. And just keep on working on how you're working. And I told her that temporarily I lowered my carbs, because I don't know if I shared this with you guys. I don't think so. But what I felt was I need to help the medication, since my body's not getting enough medication, and I don't like how I feel. My vision gets worse. There's a whole bunch of effects of having a higher blood sugar that I'm feeling and that I don't like. So I'm trying to kind of mitigate them a little bit. So I'm being very mindful of how I'm eating things. I'm doing apple cider vinegar every now and then, and not to make a mess like I did today. This was like an outlier day. I typically don't do these things. But even with a regular meal, since with Ozempic, my sugar is going up a little more. So I'm not eating, I'm eating my carbs last, but I always do that. I've incorporated more vegetables into my food, and I had run out of salad, so I couldn't do the salad for lunch today, and I didn't have a salad to eat with dinner. I had asparagus, so, you know, and that was good too, because those have fiber, right? So long story short, I'm taking more care of what I'm putting into my mouth, how I'm putting it, and I'm being more active, and I'm making sure to walk 3 minutes every 30 minutes. And I see that that's helping my blood sugar. And even these few days, this couple of days before the shot, where it goes higher, the walking helped. And that's another thing I did. I went to the grocery store before coming home and filming this video, because I wanted to walk the carbs down, right? Have my body feel. And I just purposefully went through the whole grocery store. I didn't need to. I could have skipped a whole bunch of aisles, especially the candy and juice aisle. I was not going to get anything from there, but I walked, right? And it was like a big walk that I did. And yeah, so just sharing that with you guys. If you're struggling with sugar and you're unloading doses of your medicine, like those tips really do help. The apple cider vinegar, the fiber and veggies before the carbs. And once my sugar starts going up, walking, which it takes like almost a full hour for me for it to start going up, and then 3 more hours until it's back down. So it's like a full 4-hour process from when I eat to when my sugar is back to where it was, or even a little bit higher. Who knows? That all depends. So anyway, that's my update for you guys. And I don't even want to ask my doctor to titrate up before I'm done with the 4 loading doses, because I had that reaction with Mounjaro, and I know for a fact that there's people having some reactions with Ozempic. And if there's something similar in Ozempic that's going to give me a reaction, I don't want to make that happen faster than what it has to, right? Titrating up faster. And I know there's also a lot of side effects that a lot of people have, and they feel that it's worse with Ozempic than for them with Mounjaro. It's not been that way for me. I've had absolutely no side effects at all, almost no side effects at all, burpiness here and there, but that's it. So I don't want to risk any of that, right? So if I need to watch a lot what I eat, how I move, and that's all good changes anyway, right? I do want to go back up to like a more normal level of carbs and make some dietary changes, but I can't do that yet until the medicine is working a little bit better in my body. So with all that, let me take a sip of water, and I'm going to show you guys how I prep the Ozempic pen. Because somebody was asking, can you show us the difference? So that's what I'm going to do right now. And thank you for waiting for me to lubricate my my throat. Let me also grab this here. So this is one of my Mounjaro pens, right? And for those of you that are not familiar with Mounjaro, Mounjaro pen looks like this. And what you're supposed to do, I washed my hands already, and you're supposed to have alcohol swab, which I also have, and I even just brought the cotton and the alcohol with me. So once you're ready to inject, you go ahead and you take this lid off. And once you take this lid off, the needle is in there. It's retracted, so it's kind of like at this level with it, where this mark is, or even further back. Yeah, no, it's kind of like over here, right? It's a little bit retracted. But then you put it where you're going to inject it. And then this mechanism, this is a used pen, so this mechanism comes locked. Then you unlock it. So you twist it until you unlock it. And up here, it's a button that's elevated. It's not elevated anymore because, again, it's a used pen, right? And then with this pressed against the site of injection, you unlock it, and then you click on the pen, and then the mechanism sets the plunger down, and the needle goes into your body. It inserts the medicine, injects the medicine inside, and then you hear a second click, and that's the needle retracting. However, even after the second click, I was told count to 10 and then lift. And that's what I used to do with Mounjaro. And then with this was discardable, and just put it in a sharps container and you're done with your pen. So you get 4 pens, right? So these were my 2.5 pens, and I got 4 of these in a box, and they're one-time use. Ozempic pen, it's not a one-time use. It's a multiple use because, so this is my Ozempic pen, right? And what it says here is that it has, that the pen delivers doses, depending on the pen you have, this might vary, delivers doses. And hey guys, before I continue, I'm not a doctor, I'm not a nurse, I'm not a health practitioner. I'm just sharing my experience, showing you guys the difference. But whether you go with Mounjaro or Ozempic, you have to ask your doctor to train you on how to use these guys, okay? Because I am not qualified to do that for you, and I might forget a step in everything that I'm explaining. This is just informative, so you guys can make an informed decision, prompt a talk with your doctor to make an informed decision with their care and under their guide, and just to kind of spark those ideas and conversations with them. So it says pen delivers doses in 0.25 or 0.5 milligram increments only. So then this is a pre-filled pen, and the whole pen has it says it has 2 milligrams altogether, 3 milliliters, right? So yeah, so the max I could get out of it is 4.25 injections, or supposedly I could get 4.25, which is 1 milligram, and then 2.5, which is another milligram, and that's the 2 milligrams, right? I mean, so supposedly that's what I can get. So It makes sense because they have disposable needles. These needles are one-time use, and you will see that I'm already missing some. So it comes with 2 more needles. So it comes with 6 altogether. So that, because they're thinking that you're doing 4 2.5 and 2.5 injections, right? If you were to do 8.5 injections, you're 2 needles short. And I don't know how to solve that issue for you. So you take it out, and it's sterilized, and it comes in a, and you keep your pen in the box that it comes in. So when you open the box, this is what it looks like. It has this flap, and you keep your pen in your box. So I took it out of the fridge. I still, even though you can store it at room temperature, I still prefer putting it in the fridge, like on the front part of the fridge, so it doesn't get too warm, just because I feel better that way. So then what you do is you take the cap off your pen, and you have to verify that the liquid is clear, it's not foggy or any of that. This at first I was like, is it foggy? Is it not foggy? Yeah, I took it out of the fridge. It was cold. Room temperature is warm. It was foggy, but it was just the fog like the one you get in the mirror when you go into the shower. It was not inside, so it wasn't cloudy inside, right? It was just like the fog. So after you leave it out for a while, that goes away. So you know, before I put my first dose in, I couldn't even see the plunger, right? So I see how the plunger is going up each time. Now, when it's a first time use pen, you have to, so let me go ahead and put the needle on. So you gotta, with the needle, you gotta take it out here. You have to screw it into your pen, right? And tighten it enough, but I did it too much the first time, so it was kind of hard. And then you take this cap off, and I have to be careful not to press this button. So you take this cap off, and then this is a second lid that it has. You gotta take that off too, and here is the needle, okay? And as you can see, the needle has a tiny, let me see if I can show you this. It has a tiny drop of liquid, which means that there's flow, right? However, when it's the first time that you're prepping your pen, you have to turn the dial until you see this thing here, and then you press the plunger, and then a drop of liquid comes out. I'm sorry, a drop of liquid comes out, and you're like, oh, I know that my pen is working. So then what you have to do is you have to continue moving the dial, and I'm not showing you that because I need to be able to see it. And if you go over, you can go back. So that's also good, that you can always go back. And then you check and make sure that you have your 0.25 marked on your pen. And there's a little arrow, and there's a little line next to the 0.25. So you gotta be sure that the line aligns with the arrow. Otherwise, it could be a little short or a little over 0.25. Now, it is ready to be injected. So you have to grab the pen in a way that you can grab it like this without touching this window, because if you touch this window, the plunger might not rotate freely, and you might not get the full dose. So that's something that they say that's very important too. So now it's ready. I am going to prep the site. I'm going to inject, and I'll be right back. I don't know if I can shoot myself getting the injection. I'm going to try, but if I can't make it, then I'll be back as soon as I'm done. Okay, so it seems that I'm filming. So you kind of have to go this way, right? And I like to grab like a big area if possible, and just wipe like a bigger area than what I think I'm gonna need. And then, like I said, I have to be very mindful of grabbing the pen, being able to do the plunger, but not touching the, and I need to look what I'm doing. Otherwise, I'm just gonna go too far in. So this is the part that's difficult. Let me see if I can show you. So I got up poke myself, right? Poke myself, and that hurt a tiny bit. Press. Okay, it's done. Count to 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then take it out. Okay, so once the injection is done, you have the needle still here. And what they tell you is to use the scoop method, which means put the needle inside of here just so you don't poke yourself, right? And once the cap is on, you untwist it, take it out of the pen, and your pen is ready to be stored again. And as you can see, and you can tell, the plunger is further down. You can now see this little window that you wouldn't be able to see before. Now I put the cap back on my pen, put it back in my box, and I can put it back into the fridge. And I just grab everything else, and I put it in a Sharps container, a very small one that I have, because all I need to dispose of is this. And I still use this little cap, and I put it in there. Yeah, and that's it. So as you can see, and it barely hurts. Like I feel it hurts more if I wiggle the needle. So it did hurt more doing this on camera, but I wanted to also show you guys. So anyway, not that I'm going to be doing this again, but I just kind of wanted to show you the process, right? A little more involved because you have to do all the prepping of the pen. There's a lot of YouTube video of people that are health care professionals. I need to be mindful of the time because I need to pick my daughter up from gymnastics, and they are healthcare professionals, and they're trained to teach people how to do this. I am not, as you can see. I was kind of looking at the video, and then I was taking the needle out. I'm glad that I did that after the shot was done, but a mess, right? So I just have to be mindful. Anyway, I feel a little bit weird after the shot, which I never felt with Mounjaro. So with Ozempic, I feel the pinch just a tiny bit, just because I'm very conscious and I'm pinching myself. So I might not do it as fast as the plunger and Mounjaro does. But with Mounjaro, I felt pain when the liquid was going in. I don't feel the liquid going in with Ozempic, right? I don't know when I'm on the 0.5 and I'm shooting in more units, I might feel it there, but I don't think so. I don't think it's going to make a difference. And then the other thing that I do feel after my shot with Ozempic is I feel tired, and I feel a little bit lightheaded, but that goes away fast too, right? And it's just that. It's a matter of getting used to a different system. But once you're used to it, it's simple. I was even able to just explain it to you guys, and this is just my third shot. So you get used to it. The poking myself, I think, is the hardest part of the whole process. But again, like I told you guys, I wax my eyebrows, I wax my lip, and that hurts a lot, and I still do it. So this pinch and that little tiny needle, because it's just tiny, guys, so it's okay. I can do it, and I've done it. You saw me do it, right? So hopefully I'll be able to insert the clip. I don't know how well that went with the recording, but yeah. So anyway, you know, it's something that it's a process for sure, and you just have to get used to it. And I'm just hoping that I'm able to continue with Ozempic, that I don't develop any type of allergies to this medicine or any type of reactions to the site of injection, and that the medicine works more and more for me each time. And that there comes a day when I'm talking to you guys and I'm again giving you the information about my A1C going down. I mean, it's better than what it was when I started Mounjaro. It's just a little bit higher than when I was with the last shot of Mounjaro that I took, right? So, but it has not gone up high as it was, or as it would have been had I not been on anything, and just metformin, because I'm still doing my metformin twice a day. Okay, that's it. I think this video has been a little bit long, but I've updated you on a few things. So I'm just hoping that it was informative for you guys, and for those of you that might need to switch either to Ozempic or Wegovy. I'm not familiar with the Wegovy pen, but I'm assuming that the mechanism is similar to this one. So but you have to just tell your doctor to show you, because they have the pens that that are made to train, right? So they'll tell you and they'll show you how to use it. And I also found a tutorial online, and I looked at the tutorial, and I looked at 3 tutorials just to make sure, see if people were doing something different. And I looked over and over and over, and it was always fine and good. So okay, thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. And thank you for being here. Thank you to all who have commented. You guys make my day, and your support means a lot. So I don't say this enough, but I should start all my videos by thanking you for being there, because you're helping me not only keep accountable, but also the encouragement that I've heard from you guys, the ideas, all the information. And I'm not a person that gets overwhelmed with too much information. Like I'm good at processing and listening and discerning what might work well for me or not. But I'm just happy and grateful that you guys are willing to share your experiences with me in the comments as well. So yeah, please leave me a comment and let me know what pen you're on, and if you think you'd be okay poking yourself. I'm always curious to know that about people. I thought I wouldn't be able to do it, and when my doctor first suggested Ozempic, I was like, nope, if I have to insert a needle in myself, I'm not going to do it. Went with Mounjaro, saw how good it was, and I'm like, okay, yes, I'm willing to do it because I've seen how good it is. Okay, so let me know, are you guys willing to pinch yourselves and inject yourselves? And I'm not talking about a matter of life or death situation. Like if you're on Mounjaro and Mounjaro didn't have an auto injector, or if they go with vials and they stop giving out auto injectors, I don't know, hypothetical cases, would you still be okay poking yourself? Anyway, thank you so much. Take care. I'll see you in the next one. Bye, guys.